Alright guys, so we're gonna basically show you guys how to install the new clutch and flywheel on this 350Z. So that's the new flywheel there. We're gonna use Loctite on our bolts. You guys can see there. I got the new piece in the tranny. You guys can see that broke, so that's new. We're gonna get this guy on. That's the new disc and pressure plate right there. So we'll clean that all up with brake clean, but first we need to actually take apart the release bearing. So this is your throw out bearing, release bearing. So this actually just clips in here like that, and then you can see it actually holds it. So what we got to do now is pull this spring back off. Okay, I'm just gonna pop this guy off like that. So that's there, and then this is our new one here. So I'm actually going to have to it can only go one way, so we got to push this off. So we're going to put this in the vise on 2 ears on the edge, and then get the right socket and push this guy out, and then I'll have to repress him back inside this guy. So you guys can see how it is, and that's what we're going to do, boys. Alright guys, so Justin just come by, gave me a quick hand. We got Loctite on our bolts. So we did 3 different cycles, basically 20 foot-pounds, then I did 50, and then 68, so we put it at 70. This is the new style flywheel, and then we're gonna get our clutch disc installed. So this is it here. Make sure you have your alignment tool. Get that guy in like that, and then we're gonna put the pressure plate on. Alright boys, just got this in. So the cd009 trans, me and Corum just got this in. So you guys can see, you got your tranny mount, just got that 1 bolt, so make sure you don't forget that. Up front, we got all the bell housing bolts in, got the sensor in, the slave is there, so we'll hook the slave up next. So we got our new clutch, our new flywheel all torqued down, Loctite. Trannies all together tight, cross arms tight. Just gotta put the shifter back in, the drive shaft, right? We'll get the drive shaft in, and then we need to go get some exhaust bolts. So I got those all cut out, the studs and stuff, got that one all done. And yeah boys, I'll bring you along with me. Next step guys, you're gonna want to put your 2 bolts for your slave, so get that on. Don't forget your heat shield, because the manifold's right there, right? So we got all the bolts tight all the way around. We got the starter back on, you guys can see. So your 2 bolts, don't forget the bracket, because that's for your harness. Same with up top, you guys can see there's actually 2 bolts there, so that's holding the harness. And then you're gonna have for the O2 sensors, right? You're gonna have that, so you want to make sure you got your 2 bolts there, other bolt there, and then we're gonna have the one here, right there. So we've got all these bolts tight. We got our rubber on for our shifter, so we just gotta put our shifter down, and then the bolt goes through here. So we'll get that on, get our shifter assembly back together, and then I got some new gaskets and bolts on the way, and we'll put some fluid in this tranny. So that's your fill, this is your drain. So we're gonna fill this up, and yeah, we'll get this thing fired up, guys. Alright boys, harness is tied up. You guys can see everything's tied up. The top's all tied up. Adam LZ just killing it. New, he got his pro car back out, all redone. Sick. Dang. Anyways, back to this little drift car. So we're all done forward, boys. Just gotta put my little shroud up, and then drive shaft, shifter, exhaust. Alright guys, so next step, I got the shifter in. Just make sure that the rubber is all the way sealed around it, because that's pretty well your dust shield. So just put it back and forth a couple times, shift it. You know what I mean? Go side to side with it. You know what I mean? So just to make sure everything's gonna stay there, and then you have your 2 boots on top. I'll show you guys how to do that next. And yeah, we're gonna throw in this drive shaft now. And the last thing to do, put some fluid in it, a couple zip ties here, just to make sure the harness is gonna stay stationary. And then we'll put our new gaskets with our Y-pipe, and this thing's a ripper. Drive shaft's in. Let's see, everything's good. So just make sure you slide that in, line it up so you can see that the back I had everything stationary. So I just put the tranny in neutral, and you got 4 bolts there. So I did mark it when I pulled off. Technically it doesn't matter because it only goes on up or down, side to side, right? So 19 mil, 17 mil, and snug them up real good. You guys can put a little Loctite if you like. And yeah, we're gonna go up top and I'll show you guys how to put the shifter back together. Alright boys, just got the center all back in. So it's pretty simple. Just you had your 2 rubbers underneath, your small rubber, then the big rubber, then your 4 10 mils, and underneath this. So basically if I pull this up, that's how you do that. So we're just gonna put this on the rest of the way. Yeah, right about there. So that's our 6-speed trans, and this thing's basically good to go there. We got our drive shaft tight, so I just gotta do the fluids and then the exhaust, and this thing's ready to go. Alright guys, so the 350 is actually all good to go. We just need to get the, I'm gonna go get some new exhaust bolts in the morning, just to make sure that everything's proper. And the gaskets should be in the morning also. So I did notice when I put the clutch in, because it was so far down, the fluid was actually down. So now that I have a full clutch, I had to pump it a couple times, the clutch pedal, and it actually come back up just below minimum. So what I did is I topped it up, and then I actually went inside, and the easiest thing to do is actually like burp it a little bit. So just give it a couple easy ones there, and then a full 1 or 2. And then you guys can see now it wants to shift good, because before it was holding me back. We're back at the shop guys, and I just got my exhaust bolts on. So I'll show you guys underneath. We'll go under here. So I went to the store, got the proper size bolts. These have the locking head on them. So you guys can see, got my bolts back in here. And this one here, even though I got the right size, because the design, I had to cut the head off after I got it down. As you see there, this side's fine. That side's there, we're all tight. So same with this side here, you guys can see, right? I just cut it off real quick there just to make sure we had enough room. Gas is good. So we're basically gonna go back up top guys, and we'll get this thing fired up and see how it goes. We'll take it for a rip. Alright guys, so first start, we're gonna try this thing out. Go from there. Sounds good. Alright boys, so don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Alright guys, let's take this thing for a rip. Close this hood. Clips in just like that. So I think we're gonna need to put a new slave in this thing. But for right now, yeah, she's gonna go. Clutch seems fine. Just gotta move my grandmother's car. This thing is going to be a ripper. We'll go take it for a test drive. Nice car. Huh? Nissan 350Z. It's a Nissan 350Z. Alright guys, let's take this thing for a rip. Go make sure that she's all good. So I recommend, well, you guys put a new clutch and flywheel, try to put like 400 or 500 good kilometers on it just to make sure that you get everything kind of broke in. Yeah, I can see why the old clutch probably let go, because the slave, you got a little bit over like 1.5 inches probably of play before the clutch does anything, right? So we can adjust it a little bit, but when I was under the car, you could kind of feel that the slave wasn't the strongest. Kind of had a gap in it between, like it didn't, when you pushed on it, didn't try to come back out, right? So. These cd009 trainings are so tight. Shifting, she's driving, she's working. That's another one, boys. A lot of guys drift these things too, so I'd love to own one. They hold their value so much. Like, cheapest one I could find was I think $9,500, right? Stop sign. Must be my seatbelt. Working fine. 6-speed car too, right? I just want to make sure they're all working. Yeah, they're all working, boys. That's what I'm going to tell them. I'll get a new slave cylinder and we'll change that out. We'll re-bleed it again because it's like right there. But now we got a fully brand new clutch. If the slave's not doing its job 100%, then you know what I mean, it's going to end up hurting it. So shift's fine though. Fourth. Fifth. Car's really nice. Drives really well. It's got 143,666. 666, eh? I just want to say I appreciate you guys watching this one. How about you guys hit that little subscribe button there at the bottom of the link, and there'll be lots of more cool stuff coming on the channel. So lots of drifting stuff, burnout stuff, drag racing. As soon as the track's all open there, we'll be at everything. But yeah,